Welcome to Crazy Jim's Magic Item Emporium, and boy do I have something for you today. Okay, so you like helmets, right? Yeah, you do. Well, Crazy Jim's got a helmet for you. It's a ram horn helmet. A helmet that'll help you attack with a natural weapons of Gore-Tex. You are horny, of course you are, with this helmet. Remember, if Crazy Jim's don't got it, well, you don't need it.
So if you notice that you're not listening to my air conditioner anymore, it's because it broke a couple of weeks ago. It's around 90 degrees in this island. Somebody get me out. So, kiss it on. Knight of the 7th Heaven. What's the 7th Heaven? The Royal Guard. The Royal Guard. These are the people protecting the Empress from anything that could happen to her. The people that should be next to her at any moment. Then why oh why do you let her travel by herself? Oh, Kissedon has a reason. You see, Kissedon, it's not human. Not completely. He is a member of Imperium. What's Imperium? A very secret organization that you're never gonna know about because you're not important. So he has insurmountable power. Crazy power. This guy has been tasked by the Imperium to protect Elisabetta no matter the cost. What I find interesting, however, is that whereas Isabella's information is just half a page, there's a box, an info box, half a page long, full page wide, half a page long. That's information on her. No picture though, because what you see at the cover of the book, that's Elisabetta, or supposed to be Elisabetta, whatever. However, Kissedon has his own page. His own page. And a picture of him. So then that makes me think that he's more important than the Empress. But the book just told me that the Empress is one of the most important, if not the most important person in the whole setting. But this guy got a whole page. So yeah. It gives hints that he's not really human, that he might be immortal. Because it's also mentioned that he does know about Anna Never. Or was it Ann Never? It was Ann Never. That he knows about it, and he knows that the Empress is leaving the castle and traveling the world, he doesn't know that she's trying to look for Nemesis. There's that. But that she is going around learning new stuff, learning about the world, and she's trying to become a new ruler. I guess that's fine, but you could have seneschals, talking, teachers teaching you. There are just better ways to go around this. However, this stoic man that is one of the best fighters in the world, there's always a tournament every year in the Holy Empire where the winner gets any wish granted by the Empress, within her power, of course. And every year, Kissedon wins. Every single year. He doesn't have stats, but he does have a level in the game. The maximum level in the game is 15. He is level 14. And he knows Domine, martial arts, Wuxia, Watashi wa, whatever you want to call it. And he wins every year, and every year he asks for the same thing. I want to serve you as your guardian. Yes, you may. I don't know, that's probably the exchange they have. It's stupid. But every year. So this stoic man that is an extremely well fighter, good fighter, that he belongs to the secret organization Imperium, whose goals nobody really knows, to preserve the peace of the land, whatever that means. They still let, you know, apocalyptic level things happen. This man is an introvert and has feelings for a fellow knight. I took that straight from the book. He is an introvert and has feelings for a fellow knight of the seventh heaven, and he has never told her. The carry stew is strong with you, Kisidan. Same thing. Really, really powerful person. Secret origins. Is in love with someone and can't tell them. Because that's what happened also to Elisabetta. She was 8 years old. She never dared to tell Nemesis of her true feelings, even though they were together for about a month. But now that she's 13, oh, don't you know that 13-year-old girls are more mature than 30-year-old guys? Yeah, now she wants to tell him. However, Kisidan is not going to tell her, the other knight of the seventh heaven. Not Elisabetta. I told you to get your mind out of the gutter. Moving on. Then you have the Azure Alliance. The Azure Alliance, generic militaristic fantasy place. That's honestly what I can call it. While the Holy Empire is the generic fantasy place, the Azure Alliance is the generic militaristic fantasy place. Very militaristic. A lot of military people, good fighters. The Dave are from there. Remember the the dark-skinned, very, very dark-skinned people with white hair. Yeah, they're from there. So, you can guess where this is going. They're evil. Right? Well, while one empire is very holy, one place is very holy, very, very altruistic, very religious, but very open religiously. This other place is heavily militaristic. So obviously they're evil. Oh, but ARMR, you might be wondering, or screaming at the screen. If you are, stop it. It's weird. So, but they're a militaristic place. That doesn't necessarily mean they're evil. No, but when you look at their leader, a guy that wears only black, red, and fashions his hair into horns. He has horns. White hair, dark skin, horns. You're telling me that's not evil? His name is Supreme Archon Matthew Gall. He's as evil as they come. At least that's what he looks like. His profile isn't that good either. He's evil. He experiments on people. The guy's crazy. Also, more information on him than on Elisabetta. Again, most powerful being, no, not most powerful, most important being in the world. The High General, the High Supreme Ruler of the Azure Alliance, the militaristic evil state, there's more information on him. I don't know, it's just, it's weird. Where's your, you know what, forget it, let's keep going. Then, oh yeah. Here's something about him. To prove that he is also a Gary Stu. He is the youngest Lord of War. Alright, so let me explain quickly what a Lord of War is. A Lord of War is somebody that owns a part of the world, and they have a huge military behind them. A big militia behind them. And they used to serve the Emperor. But since the Great War and the Emperor was killed and Elisabetta attained power, a lot of these generals, a lot of these Lords of War decided, you know what, I'm the Emperor now. And this guy, Matthew Gall, is the youngest one. And his backstory is, he used to live a life of poverty and was beat up as a kid. And now look where he is. Satan in all his glory. So yeah, again you have the possible bad guy is also a Gary Stu. And this is gonna keep happening in this book, trust me. Then you have the barren icy lands. They're lands that they are icy and they're barren. What else could they be? It's Skyrim. It's Skyrim. It's full of Vikings and Nords. That's what it is. It's Skyrim. It's mountains, dragons, ice places, clans. That's what it is. It's has Viking clans, and you know that's what it is. However, and this is one of my favorite places, but it's because of one thing it has. While it is Skyrim, and I do like Skyrim, I like Castlevania a lot more. And the Barren Icy Lands, they have the Midnight Castle. No, sorry, the Castle of Midnight, which is basically Castlevania. It's a castle that sometimes disappears out of its own volition. And I don't remember the name of the lord of the castle, but basically one of his nicknames is Nosferatu. It's Dracula, it's his castle. The book says itself that a lot of monsters live there that serve the Dark King. The King of the Undead, as he is sometimes called. So you tell me. It's Castlevania. Now if you ever want to do, you know, get your kick in Castlevania and Anima, there you go. You don't have to make it up. Carlos Aparicio already wrote it for you. Oh, but that's not the only game that they rip off here. No, not at all. More on that soon. Let's go back to the list. Then we have the Darklands. Guess what's there? They are lands and they are dark. No. It's the evil place. Yep. It's the evilest of evil places. It's ancient Egypt without being ancient Egypt. Kudos to you if you got the reference. It's basically survival horror land, because strange things happen. They even have a town. I didn't write it down because it's not really that much like Silent Hill, but it's basically Silent Hill. There are mists around the town and people just fall into a deep slumber. And there's mist everywhere. Which sort of reminds you of the first Silent Hill games. You know, Silent Hill 1 and 2, a lot of mist everywhere, really hard to see, you know, something like that. Then you have its capital, Graven. Oh yeah, these names, man. It's almost like a 15-year-old kid, a 15-year-old emo kid wrote this. But Graven is interesting from all the other capitals because Graven is a capital that doesn't exist in the physical world. It exists in something called the Wake. And the Wake is a place of dreams. It's the realm of dreams, basically. That's what the Wake is. Graven, its king is called Malekith. The Prince of Crows, Malekith. Some say he has a crow's head. Some say he has like a pumpkin head with crow wings. When Yu Li once drew him. It's back in his DeviantArt. If you have the chance, check it out. It's kind of cool. But he created Graven, and he created it in such a way that sometimes Graven manifests in the physical world. So the realm of dreams and nightmares sometimes manifests in the physical world. Now, I'm not entirely sure, but that also sounds like very, 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 very generic anime stuff, or at least it's in a video game somewhere. Go figure. Then you have Terra Santa. And Terra Santa is one of my favorite cities from Gaia. Why? Because Terra Santa is a mix of Raccoon City with New Orleans. They have Mardi Gras, but they also have zombies. To the point that a secret organization called Dark Sun, who try to pass themselves off as merchants, but they also have something called the Book of the Dead, and they have found, discovered necromancy and how to create necromantic creatures. Umbrella. They have a secret facility under the city. And a little box on the side of the page where they talk about Terra Santa, they talk the final days of Terra Santa. Why? Because a guy was there, infiltrated, released some toxins, and released a lot of these undead creatures. Now, doesn't that sound like the plot of a really, really bad movie? Think about it. Who's a movie where the main actor is the wife of the director and he likes to see her doing a lot of cool stuff? Yeah. If you still haven't got it, then I'm sorry. This is definitely not for you. But yeah, it's the final days of Terra Santa because those creatures are slowly crawling up and they're gonna kill everybody. And Dark Sun is actually in plans to close off the city and then nuke it. That's not the word that the book used, but basically that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna nuke it. Which, sure, it's good for a plot hook, but at that point you're just playing Resident Evil. Which is fine if that's what you like. So yeah, survival horror land. Next up, the Coast of Commerce. Guess what's here? I'll give you 1 second. You guessed it. It's pirates. The Coast of Commerce. It's pirates. It's Pirates of the Caribbean. That's what it is. It's almost like Carlos Aparicio, the creator of this game and this setting. He decided to take everything that was popular at the time, just crammed it into a book. How not to write a setting 101, basically. Because, you know, I'm all for, you know, new settings. I love reading about new settings. I'm actually developing 2 myself. Actually 3. But make it your own. Don't just cram stuff that people like. You can do that in your homebrew games. If your players let you. And if they're okay with it. So nothing much about the Coast of Commerce. Just a lot of nobles here. There are pirates. There are corsairs. People trade. There are bandits. There's no honor among thieves and stuff like that. You know, it's generico pirate land. Then you have the Episcopal States. It's the Vatican. The Vatican is there. Like the center of the church is in the Episcopal States. That's what it is. Also, the Inquisition is there. And it's not that nobody expects the Inquisition, it's that they will kill you. Dead. If you try to mess with them. They're very dangerous people. Then you have the lands of A.R.M.R. The lands of Al-Enith. Basically, it's ancient Egypt. If you ever wanted to play ancient Egypt in a fantasy game, that's your chance. There are ancient tombs. There's even a place I think it's called Valley of the Kings. Stuff like that. Really? Valley of the Kings? You couldn't think of something that exists in real life. That's all I'm saying. And you have genies. You have, you know, it's just, you know, Persian stuff. Egypt, Middle East. Sand and Sandals adventures, if you want to call it that way. However, I want to talk about one NPC here. Ikram Ab Iblis, the Dark Sultan. So there's a Sultan. He's one of the major Sultans. And one of his name is Iblis. Or Iblis. 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 So one of his last name is Iblis. And yet, obviously he's evil. With a name like that, he is obviously evil. One time, this guy was assassinated. And because he was a jerk-off, so his brother killed him to get the Sultanate. Then, in his dying breath, Schwarzwald intervened. And he said, what do you want? And he said, I want the power to reclaim my Sultanate and kill all those that oppose me. And Schwarzwald just looked at him, smiled, and said, if that's your wish. Nobody knows what actually happened to the Dark Sultan, but now he is back. He doesn't look old at all. And he takes new... I think it's every month he takes a new wife. Obviously, it has to be a virgin, because then he sacrificed them to himself so he can keep living. So there's a plot hook for you that Schwarzwald created. Schwarzwald. We're gonna be seeing, yeah. Anyways, the Salazar Desert. It's a big desert. Not many people live there. But there's a monster here called the Gurmagarus. And the way the Gurmagarus is described, it could swallow the Tarrasque in one gulp. Now, if you don't know what the Tarrasque is, I implore you, go to Google after the video, or at least pause the video and then continue watching. It's one of the biggest monsters in Dungeons and Dragons history. It was one of the most famous monsters in the Dungeons and Dragons games. It's very big, it's nigh unkillable, but this thing, I'm pretty sure it could, the Gurmagarus, I'm pretty sure it could just swallow him up in one gulp. Because the way to describe him is impossibly long and large and big. In the monster book that I'm going to be looking at eventually, there's a picture of it compared to man size. And they only show half of it because it doesn't fit. So yeah, interesting stuff. Then you have, after that, again, the Salazar Desert, not anything else there. There are some cities that are floating on the sands. They have the Sea of Sands. It's called the Sea of Sands because the sand is so soft that it could almost be water. People sink there. There's these giant things that are protruding from the sand. Nobody knows why they're there. They've always been there. It's weird. Then we have the independent states. These guys are not affiliated with each other. They're just, each one is independent of itself. They do not work for the Holy Empire. Oh, that's good. They don't work directly for the Holy Empire, but they don't work necessarily against it. The first one is Nanwe. And I'm gonna get over this quickly. Nanwe is Africa. It's the rest of Africa. You know, the savannah, deep Africa, where, you know, the lion sleeps tonight. You know, those places. Plains where elephants roam. A lot of different tribes. They're all dark-skinned. I'm sorry if you find that offensive, but that's how it's written in the book. Don't blame me. So yeah, it's deep Africa, you know, the deep jungles and deep savannas of Africa. Then we have Lucrezio. And Lucrezio is a very interesting place. Because Lucrezio, if you remember, I have mentioned Lucanor. Lucanor, who was the son of the last true emperor. He rules Lucrezio. But this one is the generic high-tech fantasy place. Like, you have more technology here. You have something that resembles electricity, actually. Here is where the Zeppelins come in. This place actually has 4 Zeppelins. And they go all around Gaia. Because they have, you know, trading routes, Zeppelin, and, you know, nobles need to get to places fast. So, if you think about it, who is actually traveling? Because the nobles don't have any reason to travel to the Dark Lands or to video game Iceland. Or even to the Holy Empire, because usually if you're in Lucrezio, you don't like the Holy Empire because you want Lucanor to be the new emperor. But Lucanor doesn't really want that. He's chill. He's okay with it. He's a fun, not fun, but he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. Yeah. But yeah, you have people just traveling all around the world in Zeppelins, and they don't tell you that they use it for trade routes. They don't tell you that people get to their jobs in the Zeppelins. Honestly, it's just a travel method. Which, okay, Gaia being so big as I described it last episode, I guess is something, but honestly, it just raises too many questions. Oh yeah, there's something very interesting about Lucanor is that, like I stated before, the highest level in the game is 15. Now, next to the profile, in his profile, next to his name, it has in parentheses the level of the character, and it says 16 question mark. What the hell does that mean? 16 question mark? You mean the creator doesn't know what the level of this guy is? Is he that powerful? Could he be level 21? What's the deal with this guy? 16 question mark? I thought the girl was supposed to be the most important thing ever. And if this guy is level Elizabeth, I mean, you know. But if this guy is level 16 question mark, then probably he has a higher gnosis. And there's nothing in his profile stating that he is not human. Sure, he has ancient blood because of he used to be the Emperor's son, but still. That's just weird. Oh yeah, and from all the NPCs that they're mentioned in this book, he has the longest profile. Kisidang and Matthew Gall were a whole page. Elisabetta was half a page. This guy is a page and a half. And there's a picture of him, obviously. It was a whole page and a half. And not only that, he has a Black Panther. Because, you know, him being the son of the deceased emperor, he was wrongfully accused that he killed the emperor. That wasn't enough to make him a Gary Stu. He needs to have a Black Panther that's more intelligent than most people, who has red eyes. Yep. So, if you wanted me to really look at these characters, why put so much emphasis and importance in the description of Elisabetta if Matthew Gall, Lucrezio, Lucanor, Matthew Gall, and Kisiran are obviously more important than her? Because Kisiran, I can understand. He is technically not human from what the book tells us. But Matthew Gall, and especially Lucanor, they are obviously more important than her. By a lot. Their profiles being longer than her, at least twice as long, if not more, should tell you something. That's 3 pages down. Tune in next week. No, not next week. Tune in next time, where we will go finish the principalities and get to the religions of this place. Oh boy, and it's just gonna keep getting better from here. ARMR out.